Andrew, the reason why I want to have you on, you're crushing it, dude. Your viewers, I remember when I was on your channel, I think we had 200 live viewers. Now you're averaging 3,000 to 5,000 every time you go live. So that's awesome. Congratulations on that success. I mean that.
Appreciate that.
Because I know how hard you've worked. You work your ass off. I mean that. But now, well, a friend who's now mad at me. This girl's mad at me. I'm so annoyed. I tried to set up a debate with these Pretty Little Patriot girls, and they acted like they were the biggest victim. They're on the Whatever podcast, which is a confrontational podcast, and you wouldn't even confront them that hard, but that's what the tone police. So let's play this clip. Do we have the clip, or do we have a tweet first?
No, it's we have a full clip. We need to play the full 90 seconds.
We have to play the full 90 seconds, or else they're going to be like, he didn't give it the right context or something. So we got a 90-second clip. So let's watch it and get your instant reaction.
Oh my word, this guy is a never-ending douchebag. This is the thumbnail for his cheesy, ridiculous beta podcast. Andrew Wilson writes, Andrew destroys child support queens on Whatever podcast. Images of me. Here's the actual clip.
But I want to put it in a context that empowers women, which is, yes, women who get to stay home and raise their children while their husband works hard. That is a blessing.
Absolutely.
That is a blessing to the woman. And I have been an entrepreneur my entire life. And 4 years ago, I lost everything I had worked for. And God gave me the gift of enjoying my children at home. And I didn't realize how incredibly empowering that was. And that was our natural role. And I will say this too as well, because if I don't keep talking, you're just going to talk over everybody. Child support started on this concept that, well, because I stayed home all of those formative years, I wasn't able to, this is when people got married at like 20, I wasn't able to go to college and build a career. And now if we get divorced, I don't have anything that I've done for myself except for these children. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying that's how child support started.
And may I remind you that I have 3 children with one man, my current husband. I have only had 3 children with one man, my current husband. Andrew is married to a woman who has 5 kids from 3 different dads, and she has petitioned child support from all of those dads. You tell me who the false prophet is here.
Thoughts?
So first and foremost, she lifted those talking points from none other than a former prostitute. Not kidding, not a joke. Lifted those talking points from a former prostitute. On top of that, all she's saying there is that I'm so altruistic. I don't care about a woman's past. That I guess that's the most unchristian-like thing you can possibly do. She also didn't mention that she herself would have 5 children, except she murdered 2 of them with abortions. So it's really interesting how this woman can talk smack. Maybe it's true that she's had all of her children with the same guy. It's just that the previous guy's children, she killed those children. That's why. So there's a big distinction there.
Boom, roasted. Clip that. No, Andrew, and your wife's great. I think she's an awesome debater too. But that's the thing. It's like in that debate, did you even
Now, Alex, we did have it set up, if I remember correctly.
We did.
She did lie and claim that you never reached out, never tried to set up a debate. However, you did DM me, try to set up a debate so that we could set the record straight. Instead, I've been living rent-free inside of this chick's head. And she's referencing a clip I didn't even know was on the channel. I have a clips guy. He takes care of the clips. I wasn't even paying any attention to it.
Yeah, in timeout, Jimmy, who's an idiot, my producer, he can confirm. Jimmy, how many times did we reach out to Lindsay to get her on the podcast? So she's lying?
We were going back and forth for a while, and they wanted like certain criteria of doing the show, and then we agreed, and then she said, actually, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to platform Andrew. I was like, okay, well, whatever.
So she lied,
she said that we never reached out. I didn't know that.
They wanted us to make Andrew rage quit on the show. That was their exact quote.
Well, I just told her, it's like, if you want me to rage quit, you have to do it yourself. And I personally like Lindsay and Kendall.
Because you're gay, Jimmy.
Yes,
okay?
I'm pretty gay. I am, apparently. But, yeah, I wish I could have seen this debate because it would have been great television.
I know, Andrew, you're a pimp on a blimp when it comes to debating. So tell me this, though. In this red pill manosphere, isn't sometimes it is a little kind of toxic, though, right? I mean, like, I'm not even trying to side with Lindsay, but, like, is the red pill toxic to, like, I guess, women and traditional life, or is it not?
Not really. No, most of the red pill creators that I've dealt with in the past seem to be highly respectful towards women. They just want their issues to be understood, and they don't want them straw manned by the opposition, which is what these feminists always do. They straw man the positions. These 2 women are wolves in sheep's clothing. They're feminists who are LARPing as tradcons, which is very, very, very common inside of this sphere. They hate nothing more than being confronted on that fact. And one of the things that I often will do with these supposed conservative women is confront them on their feminist ideology, which then in turn upsets them and they go ballistic. These women were trying to market their clothing line. They weren't expecting to get actually confronted on ideology. The next day they were embarrassed, much like women who will sleep with a man and then regret it the next day and then accuse him of SA. This is the same exact thing which happened here. They got humiliated, and so the next day, due to their bad performance, suddenly started to say that they were held hostage on the podcast. They said they were deprived of food and drink and sleep. We showed pictures of them with their drinks in their hand drinking. We showed pictures of them, having a good time, having a ball. And by the way, if you watch that episode, they were far meaner to the girls who were on that podcast than I was.
I can't debate you on that, Andrew. I think that's one thing, Andrew. I do think you are intellectually honest. I would honestly say that. I don't think you're lying about anything. And it kind of makes me upset that she said that we never reached out. That's the farthest thing from the truth. So you win that debate, in my opinion. Okay, Chase. We got Chase Geyser on, Info Warrior right here, works at InfoWars. Chase, what do you want to tell Andrew? Anything you want to talk to him about blood sports debates?
Well, I'll tell you what, when I watch debates like that and see women like that, it just makes me abundantly grateful that I am married and only have to deal with one. It's like, I can't imagine being single right now. What a nightmare.
It makes every married man on planet Earth happy. It
saves so many marriages seeing that podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, but my girlfriend too. I'm happy I only have to argue with her, but gosh, she'll debate me all damn day. I mean, does your wife debate you, Andrew, or no? Because she's feisty.
No, she's completely submissive, as well she should be.
Wow, dude.
She doesn't debate me about anything.
Do you have a huge hog? How do you get him so defensive?
God told her to, Alex. God told her to be submissive, and so submissive she will be, Alex.
I love that. That's good. I believe in God. No, that's great.
Well, actually, Alex, that's kind of a good segue to Lindsey Graham's last post where she characterized you, and I was wondering if you agreed with her characterization.
We're going to show it. Let's see what this.
So, since last night, I've had over 45 women, blah, 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 who have suffered from the mentality Andrew Wilson and Brian Atlas displayed, the Whatever podcast. And then at the bottom, it says, women who are redeemed are predators, speak when spoken to, but only if I agree with you. All women are whores and not to be trusted. So,
meanwhile, thousands of men reach out to me and Brian Atlas and many of these other creators who talk about how victimized they were by having their children smited by various women in the womb, like what happened to Lindsey's ex-husband, who, by the way, she's never shown a shred of proof that this actually happened. It's nothing more than a con job by her in order to sell more clothing. So, yeah, I don't believe a word that the woman says.
And you have a point. She lied about us trying not to set up the debate. So, I mean, I'm on team Andrew Wilson right now.
Well, that's just a weird thing to lie about because no one wants to talk about how they got an abortion. So you're saying you think she lied about the abortion to sell more Pretty Little Patriot
Well, I think
clothes?
she probably had the abortion, but she claims that the guy that she had the abortion with was a person who was a pastor at a church and was a narcissistic abuser. I've seen no evidence that that's true. She won't name who this guy is. We haven't heard his side of the story at all.
The person she had an abortion with was a pastor?
Or a pastor's son, something like this.
Church of Scientology.
Yeah, I know. What kind of church is this? And they're just getting abortions. Is that like Joe Biden's Catholic Church?
Well, she insists that this guy demanded that she have it. It was no fault of her own. He was a narcissistic abuser, according to her. Where's the evidence? And why haven't we heard from this guy? Why can't we hear his side of the story? Well, I think that the reason that we can't hear his side of the story is because his side would be, no, it didn't go down that way. And, she's a lying, grifting con artist. That's what I think.